Okay, so now I'm going to tell a story that takes place in DC, and most excitingly for me, because I love telling these kinds of stories, it's a story within a story, maybe within a story. So, living in DC, I'm still working at a Safeway. I think at this time I'm working at the Safeway up in Friendship Heights, but this is not a Safeway story. It's a chocolate story. There was a huge snowstorm. I don't remember the dates. Let's say 93 or something. The snowstorm was gigantic. The city was shut down. You couldn't get anywhere. Government was shut down. Classes were canceled at all the schools. And when it cleared, Catholic anyway, they booked classes kind of back to back. I was only going part time because the courses were really difficult and expensive, and I was struggling. I was on the precipice of becoming a grad school dropout. Um, so anyway, I had one class. I don't remember what it was. And then another class right after that. Usually it was like one evening class a day or maybe even a week. But in this case, it was like a 4 hour course and then another 4 hour course. And the second course was medieval philosophy, which I loved. This little Belgian lady with no teeth taught it, and she was really cool and told really fantastic stories about like the power of God. Um, so anyway, between classes, I grabbed a giant Snickers bar. You know, the ones that are like really long and chocolatey. And so I gobble it down on my way to the medieval philosophy course, which is in a small classroom, and lots of students are there. And I find a seat in the middle, like it was like jumbled up with all these desks. It was like very old school, literally. Um, and it was warm, like, it was in one of these old buildings with like steam heat. And so it was extra hot in there. So I take off my sweater, sitting down, getting ready for this like fantastic Belgian lady to tell another fantastic story. And I look down at my hand, and there is a giant piece of chocolate melting on my hand. I have no napkins, no tissues, nothing. And it's just sitting there melting on my hand. I don't know what to do about it. And so I lick it. And it was weird. And I was like, oh my gosh, everybody in class probably thinks there's poop on my hand. It looked like poop. And I just ate it. So anyway, I don't know if anyone noticed or not. Class is over. Maybe the next day or maybe that evening, I'm telling this story to my sister Debbie on the phone. And the girls that I live with, this lesbian couple, Sabrina and somebody, they were in their kitchen. I lived with them, so it was their house and their kitchen. They were listening to me talk to my sister Debbie, recounting the story of embarrassing chocolate on my hand. And Debbie is like, oh my God. She's down in Virginia on the phone with me, and she's like, Keith, you're telling the story so well. I can literally smell the chocolate. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I could smell the chocolate through the phone. And I hear in the background my mom say to Debbie, no, that's chocolate that was, it's in the phone. And we're both like, what? Why? And my mom is like, oh, your father fell asleep eating a candy bar. And so now the story is mom recounting daddy falling asleep eating the candy bar. And she knows this happened because her friend Doris Lowe called, and my father picked up the phone and handed it to my mom. And my mom thinks there's blood on the phone. And she's like, oh my God, Paul, you're bleeding in your head. There's blood all over the phone. And she checks his head, and she dabs his head and smells her fingers, and it's chocolate. So, cut to months later, I'm at home, sitting there at home at my mom's house, watching TV or something, and the phone rings, and I pick up the phone, and I smell chocolate. And it makes me laugh because the story within a story within a story. So that is my chocolate covered tale of a story in a story.